Yeah.
So I'll start for in general, some things to think about. The first,
Sorry, Toastmaster Shannon. Can we start with the Sergeant at Arms?
that's a training session. Yeah, you can, sure, that's fine.
Okay, I mean, just like checking with you if that is fine, or else we can start with immediately meeting. Yeah. Please, Sergeant at Arms. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Toastmasters of the evening, respected President, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guest. I, T.M. Hari, the Sergeant of Arms of Alain Toastmasters Club, welcome you to the meeting. The mission of Toastmasters Club is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop their communicative and leadership skills that greatly helps in self-confidence and personal growth. During the meeting, it is advised not to talk on controversial subjects like sex, politics, and religions. It is recommended to add your name add your name, and it is also recommended to pin the speaker. With this, I want to hand over and invite to T.M. Manoharan to open the meeting. Thank you.
Good evening, one and all. Thank you, Toastmaster Hari. Good evening, one and all, to the meeting number 566 to the Alain Toastmasters Club. We are having an online session for an education session to prepare for our contest as we are heading to the contest season. So to conduct this session, we have our pioneer Toastmaster, Toastmaster Shannon. Toastmaster Shannon has served as a club officer's positions, area and division director's role as well. He served as an educational head at DTAC as well as the education team at DTAC 2016-2019. So Toastmaster Shannon will be giving in-depth information about the international speech contest, how to prepare the international speech contest, how to prepare the table topics, and also he will be touching a light on the humorous speech as well. So with that, I would like to hand over the stage to Toastmaster Shannon. So Toastmaster Shannon, thank you.
Thank you so much, appreciate that. Okay, so just in our preliminary discussions, I guess we'll focus more on strategies in this educational session, and we'll talk in general, and then we'll also look at the ballots that judges use, because the difference between a contest and a project that we're doing in the club is that for the contest, we're being judged. When you have projects, you're being evaluated and you get feedback. So this is, different criteria are involved with this. So it all starts for every contest. There's something at the beginning where the contestant is called up, contestant number one, then for the international speech, then the title of the speech is given. Usually it's been title of the speech a second time and then the Toastmasters name again. But I was just checking the rule book and it only mentioned one time, so I'm not exactly sure. Maybe they made a change, I'm not sure about that. For the international speech and for the humor speech, all contestants are in the contest room throughout the whole contest. However, for the evaluation contest and for the table topics contest, for the table topics contest, all contestants are taken out except for contestant number one. Then they're brought in step by step and they all get the same topic and it's the same style. For the evaluation contest, you have a target speaker. speaks for around 7 minutes. Then the contestants have 5 minutes to take their notes and everything. Then all except the first speaker is led out of the room and the notes are taken from them so that nobody has an unfair advantage. So that's kind of the very beginning. Now, as soon as you, excuse me, okay, your time has started. Yeah, your time has started. Okay, your time has started. So it's any verbal or non-verbal communication. The time starts. So you want to be very careful about what anything that you're going to say. So in general, again, we're still talking in general. There are two approaches, two main approaches to starting your part of the contest. One is, unless there are some religious or cultural reasons, you need to shake the hands of the contest chair. Go back, because usually what happens is the contest chair will call the contestants by name, will come up, shake hands, then the contest chair will say the contestant's name and let's say the topic or the title of the speech. And again, and then the contestant and the contestant's name. So usually what happens is when you go up, when your name is called, that's when everybody claps. Okay? You don't say anything. After you've been introduced, one strategy is to just say, no need for thank you, no need for good evening, good morning, no need for that. Those are just time wasters. Madam Contest Chair, Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests. Then you start. Okay. Another approach, I'm talking in general still, is you give like 1 or 2 sentences of your speech and then acknowledge the contest chair. Like for example, I'll give you a very, it's not a strong example, but to give you an idea. So I'm called up for table topics. Okay. Contestant number 3, Shannon Glasgow. Shannon Glasgow, contestant number 3. Okay, I go. I shake the hand with the contest chair, unless, there are some cultural or religious things. Strategy 1, Madam contest chair, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. Now I start speaking. Or, that's a really interesting topic. That's one that's close to my heart. Madam Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters and guests. So you can have that small introduction, but make sure that there's no more than like 2, maximum 3 sentences before you acknowledge the contest chair and the audience. Okay, that's so important. So either strategy can work. Now, when you finish whatever contest you're in, of course, no thank yous. Because in Toastmasters, we don't thank the audience, for listening to us. We want to end on like a call to action, a powerful note. Madam Contest Chair, and that's how you hand over. That's how you hand over control. Now, I've been a judge a lot over the years. If any part of that is missing, you lose a lot. because you didn't follow the protocols. Okay, now I'm going to jump around just a little bit before we look at the ballots. For the table topics, it doesn't make any difference if you agree or disagree. This is not it's not a test on, like, are you right or wrong? You're being judged on how well you present your ideas. So if you're thinking like, oh, well, I kind of like that, but this, don't do that. For table topics, just choose one. And even if you say bad, later you say, oh man, how could I ever agree to that? It doesn't make any difference. Just choose one path and then stick with it. Now, international speech contests. Again, the speech contest rulebook states that no more than 25% of your ideas can be taken from outside. And even then, if they are, they need to be acknowledged and cited. Otherwise, it's kind of like plagiarism. Now, the thing is about the international speech contest is you want to build up a story that gives people goosebumps. Okay, there was does anyone know Sujit Sukumaran? Sujit Sukumaran.
I heard about him.
Yeah. So years ago, Sujit, S-U-J-I-T, Sukumaran, S-U-K-A-M-A-R-A-N. Years ago, when I was judging up in a contest in Dubai, I heard him, and he had something like cerebral palsy. So he had 60 operations in his life and like this, and he he kind of had a life, but he had a good attitude. And I really liked him. I liked his style because he was the kind who really planned out his speeches. And I invited him to speak to 2 TEDx Alain events that I organized. If you give a chance, sometime Sujit Sukumaran, TEDx, and then you can see his talks. And that one, what you can learn, what you will notice about this speech is that how he uses the stage. Because what he does is, he was talking about, I forget the name of the speech, there's something like related to disability. And he used one part of the stage for one period of his life and another part of the stage for another stage of his life. And that's very effective how you use the stage. Because if you're going to be telling a story and you have different time frames, then you need to establish some parts of the stage for that time or for that person that you're talking about. So that's very important how you do that. It's one of the stories he told was that he couldn't walk very well, and he was a scribe for a blind student, and back in university in India. And what happened was that he was walking with a blind student, And the blind student had the feeling that Sujit had pity for him. And he said, stop, don't have pity for me. I want you to go walk so many places and throw a rock at me. And Sujit saying, come on, man, this guy's blind. What's going to happen? And anyway, he did it. He said, yeah, I'm going to do it. He lined up the splits to that. And what happened was that Sujit threw a rock at him and he caught it, even though he was blind. So the guy said, look, when we were walking next to each other, I had a rough idea, we were shoulder to shoulder, how high you were. When I asked you to pick a rock up to throw, a small rock, I could tell from the time that you bent over to pick it up. And then when I told you to walk so many places, it was pure mathematics. That's how he was able to touch the rock. So, but that kind of story was very powerful. There was another one back in the 90s that one of the early pioneers of Toastmasters here wrote about I hate my father. This is the older guy. I hated my father. This guy had a brother who killed himself as a teenager because how hard his life was. But this repetition, I hated my father. Of course, during the speech, it came back to I loved my father. So there's that kind of switch. But one thing that for the international speech, and I know I'm jumping around a little bit, is that you need a storyline with inspirational messages, and you want to have a call to action, not what would you do? That's too basic. We want something that is going to cause the hair on your arms to stick up because it's like, wow. Okay, so questions so far? Do you have any questions so far?
No, nothing. You can go ahead.
Okay. Now, one thing to be very careful about is the humorous speech contest, because you asked about that. With the humorous speech contest, some people have tried to put a lot of jokes together. That's not what humorous speech contest is. There was one humorous speech contest that I entered in a long time ago, and it was related to true story because some of the best sources of material for any national and humorous speech contests are personal stories and experiences. So in my case, my mom broke her shoulders because she tripped over this dog toy, and I had to go to an emergency leave. She had this huge dog in this small apartment, and it was my job to take him to be neutered, to be fixed. And so I wasn't used to doing this. And after he was neutered, he had that cone on his head, so he couldn't go to the veterinarians. I took him around on a leash. This is a huge dog. Do you know what the squat position is? I had no idea. So here I am pulling this big dog. He's kind of squatted, and he's leaving a trail all the way through the lobby. And I get up to the reception, and I said, I am so sorry. What do you do with this? And the reception said, oh, no, it happens all the time. Dogs do that when they get nervous. It's like, wow. I had no idea. So that was built into a humorous speech contest. It wasn't only that, but there's it's how can I say this? We've got one member of our club called Dr. Patrick, and one of his most memorable speeches was there was a line that he repeated, and of course, when you repeat things, that can be very effective. Ask me why, and that was the catchphrase. Years later, people go at the environment and say, "Yeah, ask me why." So we still joke about this. So that kind of repetition and the power of threes. Have you heard about the power of three? So, like when we've got, like for example, if you're going to have either humorous or international, you don't want to make it so crowded. But if you have three significant parts, or you have like you repeat certain words that start with the same letter. Sincerity, simplicity, and another word that begins with an S. That is an effective tool to use for that. Okay. Now, I think it would be good to look at the ballots, unless anybody has some questions. Because it's very important to know how you're going to be judged and what the judges are looking for. Okay? So, any questions so far or no?
No, TM. It's fine. You can go ahead.
So, let's start with, I'm sharing my screen, right? So let me start with the table topics contest, and all these available from TMI. Let me. Okay. So this is what all judges have, and for me, the way I was trained, I start with 1, 2, 3, and I kind of change the numbers here. And as a judge, I put a squiggly line between very good and good, just to help me balance the points. And you'll see here that 55 marks go for content. This is for the table topics. 30% go for delivery, and 15 marks go for the language. So this means that you may not have perfect English, grammar or whatever, but as long as it doesn't impede the meaning, it's only 5 marks. Okay. Have you seen these ballots before? Have you ever seen these ballots or no?
No.
Okay, so I can share them in the group, in the club group if you want. So for this one, you've got 30 marks. The biggest one is coming back. Welcome back. Okay, so the biggest one is how you address the topic. And again, even when you do table topics, no more than 3 reasons. Like why you support or why you agree or why you disagree. Maximum 3. Now, the important thing is for effectiveness, another big one, 25 marks. So that's how you, when you're smiling at the audience and you are, you're getting them involved in your talk. What we do sometimes with rhetorical questions, you can use those, but you need to look like you're not, like sweating to death up there, like you can't wait to leave the stage. The next two are the physical part, and that's how you're using your gestures. So first, second, third. What was he thinking? These kinds of gestures, and also for the speaking area. So we don't want to be. I think I mentioned the last club meeting I was at. There were some people going backwards and forwards.
Sorry, Toastmaster Shannon. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
We can't actually see your shared screen. Maybe you can actually go back and then unshare and then come back, share your screen.
Okay, that's fine. So I stop share.
Yeah.
Thanks. Follow me. So I'll share screen again. Can you see it now?
Just a minute. Yes, now it's fine. Yeah, now it's fine. Yeah, perfect.
It sounds good. So for the speaking area, we want to be sure to include everybody in the audience. And if you are nervous, if you're really nervous about this, then before you start speaking, take a deep breath and smile. Because somebody in the audience will be smiling back at you. And that's going to make you feel a little bit more comfortable. 15 marks is for voice. 10 marks is for appropriateness. Now, one thing that sometimes it goes through phases, but one thing that sometimes some speakers do is male speakers will complain about their wives. Okay, it's a common thing among certain speakers, and that, like as a judge, when I was judging, that would be a big turnoff. I'd mark down straight away because I didn't find that was appropriate. Then the last part is how well you pronounce the words. How's your grammar? One thing also about appropriateness is, even if most of the audience is Indian, not everybody will be. So be careful about referring to certain people or places, and unless you say something like a comedian, or in a small city in the northwest of India, or something like that. But if you just throw out some names, it may be funny to it may be a lot of people may understand, but not everybody will. Does that make sense? So yeah, just be careful about that. So on all these ballots, it has two parts. It has this part, and it has more description here. Okay. It's important to become aware of this so that if you're going to compete, you know how you're going to be judged. Okay. So next, we've got the International Speech Contest. Again, content, a little bit less at 50. Delivery, 30. Language, 20. So language plays a bigger role here. So the breakdown is, how was it? How were the ideas organized? Did it make sense? How effective? Did you give me goosebumps or no? Was it clear what your main idea was? Or was it logical? So this is the big one here. Hey, I think I've heard something like that before. There was one some years back at a BTEC. There was a speaker who gave a speech like Southwest Airlines had done. So there was this video on Southwest Airlines in the US where there was a flight attendant who made the trip funny before the takeoff. And this person took that idea and applied it to a Toastmasters plane. And so there was a protest because, people can protest against originality. In this case, it was after, all the judges met and contestants and the people protested, it was determined that this speech would not be disqualified. But it's important to be as original as possible. For the delivery, this is how well you use the stage. Do you use you vary your sound and your intonation? A big turnoff is if you start shouting or become a drama king or a drama queen. It's because sometimes people do that. That's too much. Some people follow that style, but I know whenever I'm a judge, I mark down for that because I'm not here for drama. Okay, so you need to be careful about the physical abuse. You want to get your points across, but without drama. Okay. Then the last part is 20 marks for appropriateness and correctness. Now, if you're going to use props for this speech or the humor speech, then you need to let the contest chair know beforehand so that they can prepare the stage before you start speaking, in case you're going to use any props. Okay, and again, you've got a description here, and I'll share all of this in the, I'll share it, I guess I can share it in the chat since this is going to be recorded. You asked about humorous as well. So here again, sort of like tip topics, content is 55 marks. With structure, logic, and audience response being the largest parts that are being marked, 15, 15, 15. I remember judging years ago one contest. I didn't really catch it. The speaker was a guy called Ganesh. And he had the audience in tears. But of course, I don't know exactly what I was talking about, but for audience response, I gave him high marks because that's what the audience was responding. So I gave him high marks. Other parts, no, I didn't because I couldn't follow. The delivery is 30. Again, the same kinds of things: body language, voice, speaking area, enthusiasm. And the last part is the language, which is 15 marks. The important thing is, whenever you give a humorous or international speech, or even table topics, you want to be careful not to make it so that only one ethnic group can catch what you want to say. You want to make sure that just about everybody in the room can have an idea, because even if you do mention something specific to your like a food or a place or a person, then you need to just give a small description, like a spicy vegetarian dish. That's great, something like that, so that everybody can have an idea of what you're talking about. Okay, but again, with humorous, it's definitely not. It's not a bunch of one-liners. There has to be a message. So humor is a way to get the message across. So you're getting the message across through humor. Okay, so there's also the valuation contest, but nobody's really doing the valuations, right? Okay, so but I've got the valuation thing as well. Um, I think the important thing is for all of this is to, let me just stop share. The important thing is to make sure that you acknowledge the contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests. Forget the good evening, forget the good day, because you do that 25,000 times and it loses its purpose. For the tech topics, you address the topic straight away and you state your viewpoint. This is, something that's close to my heart, and then you just go with it. For the international, you want something in the first 30 seconds or so, 45 seconds, where people are going to sit up and listen. So you need something catchy to grab their attention. What? Hold on. What's he going to talk about? And of course you want to build up the suspense. For the humorous, humorous is probably the most difficult contest because it's challenging to build up a story and make it humorous for 5 to 7 minutes. So, but that's it's because there's so many times in humorous speech contests, it's just like that's it. There's no laughter or anything in there. So, okay, give me some questions.
Okay, Toastmaster Shannon, thank you so much for your really all around view of the three contests. See, since we have been delivering the speeches in the club level, we literally don't pay attention to, for instance, the content, which means that it weighs way higher. So what I understand is that we have to completely understand the entire the judging, the marking criteria, and then we have to practice accordingly in order to convince judge. Is that what that a contestant should be mindful about?
Well, I mean, most contestants want to win. And to win, you have to get the most points on the judges' ballots. Now, not every judge is going to agree 100%. That's why they've got 5 judges, they tally them up, and they have a tie-breaking judge in case two contestants have the same number of points. But that's what you need to aim for. Look at the ballot. Let me see. Let me see if I can. Can I put it here? No. Can I add it here? No. No, I don't see how I can make. I'll just post it in the club group, the different ballots, as well as the club contest rule. But yeah, but that's what you need to do. You look at the ballots and you see how you need to address your topic.
Correct. So it's something like whatever we have learned at the at the base camp level, maybe level 1, 2, 3, and this is something that we have to kind of relearn something new because we have to be mindful, and at the end it's a contest, right? It's a competition. So the contestant needs to be aware of the marking criteria and had to actually practice accordingly in order to convince the judge, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And part of it, like first impressions, do you acknowledge, do you hand over, all that kind of stuff. But also, all of us need to have a bank of quotes and information that we can draw from, you know, uh, as Thomas Jefferson once said, as U.S. President Thomas Jefferson once said, as Benjamin Franklin once said, as Mahatma Gandhi, once said, we have this pool that we can draw from under, certain circumstances. One of my quotes is from Deng Xiaoping, a former Chinese leader. Believe it, no matter the color of the cat, so long as it catches the mice. So, we've got this pool that you've got to, and the thing is, when I studied with Toastmasters, I was thinking, man, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get up and say all this stuff? But basically, we are our own strongest resources. We all have had things that have happened to us or we've witnessed or something, and we just draw in that pool. No, well, let me see in the world, but no, look inside. And that would be the easiest, one of the easiest places to give information. But again, we don't want to be dramatic. No. Some people go that route, and it's just like, okay, the marks go down straight away. Some people sing. I wish they wouldn't. Mark down on that. Come on. I've heard 20 speeches singing the same song. So the important thing is, like, again, for the international, touch me. Make me something. Wow. Yeah. And practice.
Yeah. And also my second question, do you also have some sort of strategy in particular for table topics contest? Like, because the questions anywhere, like sometimes may not be like a familiar topic. Sometimes we may, since it's a competition, sometimes we may fumble or like kind of stressed. So to handle that, some sort of strategy, like kind of backup plan that we have it. So would you like to share something?
There are so many resources on table topics, sample table topics, Toastmasters table topics available online. Okay, so basically it's just practice. You get more and you just practice and you get feedback on it. But the important thing is, Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters and our guests. Now, I'm not sure what to say. I haven't decided if I'm going to go this way. So I repeat the topic. Should people blah, blah, blah? Wow. And I also found that, like, that if you give some kind of like something silly, wow, or a laugh or something like that, then that makes you kind of ease, and it makes the audience, wow, he's going to say something good now. It gives that kind of thing. So the important thing is, it's sort of like a hamburger, where you give like some kind of overview, you give your reasons, and then you summarize. Yeah, but that's why people should do this. So a small summary at the end, so it becomes wrapped up in one. But again, that's practice. So it may, you may have to do 50, 100, 1,000. Yeah. But the important thing is, for this and the evaluation contest, do you know what the word canned means? Canned means like here's this template. Oh, that's a very interesting question. So it's sort of like it's not natural. It's coming out from it's like you're just taking it off the shelf and you're just giving the same thing. How can I say that? And it sounds like you're a machine. It's not coming natural. But and then when you finish, if you can, a call to action, Mr. Private Toastmaster with a smile. It's important to smile. Yeah. Makes a big difference.
Yeah, got it. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shannon. So I hope like
Okay.
other members also do have some questions to ask Toastmaster Shannon.
And we'll also look at some of the speeches, like I said, hold on for a second. Sujit Sukamaran, Sukamaran, Ted.
Toastmaster Shannon, I just posted in the chat box. Maybe you can find that link. It's already there.
That's for Sujit, huh?
Yeah.
For Sujit. Okay, that's good. Yeah. So basically, look at this. I'll just say about remember Dr. Katrak, who's also big in the speech contest. He's a member of the Human Rights Club, and he's been around Toastmasters for a long time. If you see how they prepare for speeches, they go beforehand and they look at the stage. They become familiar with the stage and they plan here. I'm going to stand here for this part. I'm going to stand here for this part, depending on 2 or 3 parts. And they'll know where they want to be for each part of their speech. And they know what gestures they're going to do. And they put a lot more practice, than I do. But one thing you want to be careful about, of course, is memorizing. If you memorize your speech and then you get stuck, okay, and then what happens usually after 30 seconds, everybody starts clapping and, it's over. So, yeah. So you have to be careful about memorizing. Okay. More questions?
Yeah, we should not get into the trap of brain fade trap, especially when we memorize sometimes the content, no? It happens.
Exactly. But that's why I think, practicing this, which I don't know about timing, but, like, if we have some club content or some practice club contests, like, and we give feedback to each other, I always found that to be so helpful, the help us club, because, like, for example, there are 5 of us here. We can be looking at the same thing, but have different experiences. We may see things that others may not see. Because like what I mean is that, like with different judges, they don't all mark the same way. They've been trained, they've got the criteria, but this one noticed this and put this mark. This one noticed that, put that mark. For some, they may not think that singing is a big deal. But I think the more practice you do, the better. You look like you're in hell now with a red background.
It's like following the timing rules.
Okay. Other questions? I guess for now, the biggest thing is to set a date, some dates to do the practice. And so that, like, for example, the table topics and then international, because feedback is what Toastmasters is all about. and that's what we all need. And constantly, we always need feedback.
Yeah, correct. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Do we have any more questions from our members?
I hope everybody, like, will participate. For me, it took me years to participate in contests because I said, oh, yeah. But then once I did, you feel good about yourself because you took a step.
Hmm.
Okay, now you're doing good. But it's better than if you had done nothing, you know? So which WhatsApp group should I put the stuff in, the documents in, the ballots?
The members Alain Toastmasters Club. I hope that the
I
members
think
Alain TMC.
I remember it's Alain TMC.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
what I'll
think
do
you're
now,
already in the group, I guess.
yeah. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put all these documents in there so you can take a you can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, we
You
can
can have
refer.
it. There you go. So should be on the way.
Yes. Yes. Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So yeah, like I said, be friends with the with the contest rulebook and look at the judges' ballots and do practice contests
Sure. Sure.
for feedback.
Sure. Sure.
So if the area contest is on the 11th of February, we have opportunities to do maybe 2 or 3, even if you have extra meetings.
Hmm.
It could be anywhere. It doesn't have to be at the library, the other places as well. But you do practice, and I am happy to help with that as well. And because the important thing is more practice, more feedback.
Hmm.
Because even like it's still not shaking hands. There's not the smooth transfer from uh, giving control of the stage and taking it back. So that's important when you do the club contest.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm. Okay.
okay. Like I said, sorry, there's no PowerPoint presentation. Like, I've got one somewhere, but let's go put this together.
Hmm. I think we don't have more questions in the chat box. Do we have any questions? No. So I think you have clearly summed up what are the rules and the basics behind international table topics as well as humorous, and you have little touched on the evaluation as well, evaluation contest as well. So it was, and the in detail about the ballots. I can clearly understand the importance of ballot. That's where like we have to actually be more mindful about when practicing. So with that, yeah.
Another thing that sometimes some clubs do is they have the TMI, the top level competitions. Those speeches are available online. So sometimes what clubs will do is they will all agree to, let's watch these speeches, international or whatever, especially international at that level, and then discuss, critique, and things like that. Yeah, that's also useful. When you see recordings of other speeches, what looked bad, what didn't look good, stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. So I think time is also up. We really thank you for your wonderful and precious time. We totally understand that it's your busy schedule, and it's like we are in the Christmas Eve, winter vacations. So it's really enjoyable session we had. I hope that our members also might be go through all those details, especially the rules and ballots. Hope they will come up with some more questions. I think they can ask you personally as well, or maybe in the group, so that in order to
course.
get more clarity.
No, that's good. But first thing, just take that step. You may not win, but at least you did something that you hadn't done before.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Shannon, for your enlightening session. And I thank all the members also, whoever have joined this meeting. So with this, I would like to close this session over. Thank you, Toastmaster Shannon. Much appreciated. Yeah.
Pleasure. So,
Yeah. Bye bye. And we will post for the like. Anyways, you said that you may not be able to join on 24th. It's fine. Still, it is online. So see if you can actually maybe join like online as well. So
that is a funny fit because my wife is from Syria and her cousins are, my wife's in the US, the cousins are in Dubai. My kids haven't seen their cousins for several years. So we're going to be kind of busy with that and with actually and Christmas stuff and
yeah,
that kind of.
yeah, got it. So, anyways, thank you so much for your wonderful session, Toastmaster Shannon. Much appreciated.
Sounds
Thank you.
good.
Yeah. Bye bye. Bye bye. Good night, all. Night.